guys,
Hello.
welcome back to the Warriors Den. It's me, Eric, with Damien.
Damien.
Kikan, our game director for online. Or just,
And
you
stuff.
are our one game director.
Yes, I am.
Yes. We may or may not be joined by Roman later on the show.
We never know.
Never know.
That's even a surprise for us.
Yes, he's a ghost. He just wanders the halls of Ubisoft. And we have other special guests later. We're going to have Bio to give a Faction War update, because another campaign has ended. That's our new terminology for rounds, if you're just catching up. And we're going to do a whole section on dedicated servers and the open test with our producer, Stefan Cardin, and our production manager from Team Onion, the Onion Knight himself, JF.
The foreigner, the Foreign team.
Yes, oh nice.
Yeah.
I still never got one of those shirts. Take a note. But before that, let's get through the news. We mentioned this last week, but we want to mention it again. For Honor is actually nominated for Fighting Game of the Year.
Oh.
Which is pretty cool over at IGN. So we've got an image there. If you want to vote, you can vote, and that helps us. Go to IGN.com and cast your vote. Just search for the fighting game category, and then you can cast your vote. That would be cool to see. We're up against some very tough
Small
competition.
games.
Yes. It's cool, though, to be in that company with those other amazing fighting games. But yes, as I mentioned, the big news of this week, which people didn't even know until this week.
Yeah.
We are currently, right now, which is why there aren't too many people in the stream, we're currently running our dedicated servers open test.
Yeah.
On all platforms, for free, whether you own For Honor or not, people can come download the open test and test out our dedicated servers solution.
Yeah.
So that's a
really cool.
pretty cool thing we're doing. So as I mentioned, it started today.
Yeah.
It runs until December 18th at 1 a.m. UTC, which is 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the 17th. So you've got all weekend to go on there. As I mentioned, we're going to sit down with Stefan and JF a little later to get a little more detail on the test and our servers. But a big thing that I've seen a lot of good reactions to so far is we really, because we can't shut down the main game, but we really need as many people as possible to come to this test and really stress test it.
Yeah, because, it's a test.
Yeah.
We know it's not perfect yet, but we need to get feedback. We need to get more data on it, and they will speak in plenty of details.
Yes.
There are some stuff that are not implemented yet in that version compared to the live, so it's different, but it's good enough so that we can get the feedback. So we need everybody to come in.
Yep.
So many different players, and also that they play as much as possible. So it's not just, hey, I came, I see during 10 minutes, then I'm going back to the main game.
Right.
So that's why we're doing pretty cool rewards.
Yeah, we actually had multiple meetings with multiple people that are in the room right now. Like, what can we give the players to really incentivize them to come down? And I did say in one of the meetings, like, can we just shut down the game and make them go? And I think someone threw something at me. But the team came up with an amazing list of rewards and even a raffle that we're doing. So we have graphics if you want to bring them up.
So it's based on the daily orders that are a bit different in the test. So it's either 5 matches or 15 matches. It resets every day. And the most daily orders you do during the whole test period, the better rewards you get. So here you can see the whole list. So 2,000 steel, then 4,000, 6,000, 8,000. And then we add other things on top of that, like scavenger crates, days of champion status, and things like that.
But that's not all.
And that's not all. So that's why it's more interesting for you to play on the dedicated servers. That's what we wanted, that to play on the normal game for that time period.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we have a super cool raffle with some stuff I would have liked for me, like the Fist of the Otherworld poster or the Apollyon statue. So the more orders you play, the higher chances you got to get one of those pretty cool rewards.
And check out the FAQ for the exact rules on that, because certain countries have different rules on raffles. We can't offer it worldwide to every single country in the world. So go check to see if your country's eligible. It probably is, but it might not be. I don't know if Quebec is. Quebec's never eligible for these things. Oh, it is. Good job. Good job, guys. And there was a third graphic, yes? Oh, yes, there it is.
Yes, and we have as well a community order, an event order where the most matches are done, then it unlocks rewards to everybody who participated in the dedicated server open test.
And in fact, there is a typo that we need to correct on this. We had kind of announced that Xbox One would have 1.7 million as its threshold. It's actually
1.1.
Shabam! Yeah.
Woo!
So that's
Magic.
Yes. So there's a potential. There's a potential for a player to end the weekend with 12,000 steel from orders.
Yes.
And we should mention we're not going to do a carryover. Like when you finish the weekend, we're not going to copy your account, carry it over to the game. It's just we're going to see how many orders you completed,
and then grant you the rewards directly on your account.
So that means you can spend your steel in the test version if you want to. Don't hold on to it.
You can do whatever you want in the test version. We won't keep it.
Yep.
Because it came with your progression.
Yep.
If you own the main game, so you can do whatever you want. You can spend your whole steel, test different stuff. You can play also the season pass heroes.
Yep.
If you don't own the season pass or if you haven't unlocked them in the main game, all heroes are unlocked against one steel, which is pretty cool.
Yes, that's our new economy model. But that reminds me, we should tell people, if you are very into the week-to-week of For Honor, you need to know that the version that the test is built on is before the Shaman changes. Yeah. So the Shaman is at the launch version of the Shaman. So if you miss that powerful Shaman, you get a few more days with her. So yes, something you should know. Anything else you want them to know about the test version versus the live version of the game?
No, I think GF and
okay. There's a matchmaking thing?
Yes, the rematchmaking thing. So as an example, because not everything is implemented, we don't have rematchmaking in the dedicated server version yet. So it means that at the end of a match, if there isn't enough players, the game is killed, the session is killed, and your group is disbanded as well if you're in a group, so you have to regroup.
Yep.
It's something we had way before on the main game, but that we fixed and improved since then. But it's something we haven't implemented yet on the dedicated server version. So we have some stuff like that. We know everything is not perfect, but we need to get the data right now so that we can so that we can have the best version as possible when we ship it.
Right, and that's not a function of it being on servers. The matchmaking.
It's features. They had to redo everything basically. So
cool. Okay, hey, here's some news. On Monday, I don't know why we're releasing on Monday because we never do this, but on Monday, we're releasing our next patch, our next title update.
Yeah.
1.17. That's what we're saying. Roman might be on the show later to talk about with us. We have some patch notes to share. It is all pretty much mostly bug fixes, so it's not a lot of juicy, big changes that you're hoping for, but there are some interesting bug fixes in there, so we'll get to that in a bit. Most juicy of all is the second half of the Shaman fixes that we talked about with the live update.
Yeah, the tracking.
2 weeks ago? I can't remember. Cool. Now I have a section called Update from Damien.
Yes.
But actually, I'm going to answer the first one. So lag compensation is current. It's one of our biggest topics every week. We know this. Based on the, oh my God, I'm blanking on the word.
The time snap?
The time snap, thank you. I've been sick all week, guys. Give me a break. Based on removing time snap, the lag in the game has been a problem for a lot of players. We know this. We've been working on this. But what we said last week, and is still true this week, is we want to see what the perceived latency is on the dedicated servers, which we are testing right now.
Because it's changing it, basically.
It's definitely changing it. Or I shouldn't say definitely. I'm not a net engineer, but it might be changing it. So that's what we want to test out. That's one of the many things we want to test out this weekend. So we didn't want to release lag compensation, then do the server stuff and muddy the waters with the actual things. The nice thing about servers, which JF was telling me, is we'll test the perception with the community. I can also see very specific data on the real latency too. So that's very cool.
Yeah.
But yes, we know it's a big topic. We'll continue to update you as we have updates. And speaking of big topics, this is another big topic this week, Damien.
The light spam of the Aramusha. But what you just said could impact that as well.
It could, very well.
So it's something I'd like to know, like players who struggles against the light of the Aramusha on console specifically. It's more a console issue. Do they struggle as much on the dedicated server version, or is it better for them? That would be super interesting for us. We think it's better, but we're not sure. And maybe it's better for some players, but not others. So
maybe it's a little bit better, but not all the way better. Let us know.
Exactly. So it's an issue we're still investigating to see where it comes from, if it's performance-based or not. We know also that the lag compensation work we're doing on right now could also help a lot that part.
Yep.
So it's something that we're still investigating basically, and where we're still gathering as well feedback and data for the servers so that we can take good next step on that subject.
Cool. And then did you want to follow up from what you were talking about last week?
Last week we talked about maybe some changes in the matchmaking for the skill, maybe some changes on the ranked Dominion playlist to have a ranked front and things like that. We're still working on that. It might come next Monday. It's not sure yet because the team is really busy at following the open test. And we can't split everybody in two. But so it's still something we aim to do, but I'm not sure it will be pushed next Monday or not.
Okay, cool. So that brings us to content of the week. We have coin toss emotes for the heroes who didn't get them when we released these before.
So sometimes we do things like that. We catch up on some subject for the season pass heroes, so that they can get as well, like the contest. Maybe we'll do that also in the future for the sports emote or things like that. So sometimes we do an update only on the season pass heroes.
Yes.
It's not a new trend.
No.
Mostly every week it will be a new content on all heroes, but sometimes we have to do that to do some catch up. Yeah,
it's just sort of a production thing where those heroes came later in the production from when the emotes were actually produced.
Exactly.
So, yes, playing a little catch up. So it's for the 6 DLC heroes. And we have a video to show you. And after that, we're going to be back with JF and Stefan to talk about the open test. Good job, Max. I like it. The coin goes right into the camera. You did a good job. Proud of you. Hey, guys. Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Wow. So we're back here. I mentioned Stefan. You are our producer. At Ubisoft, producer is actually like king shit of the mountain. You are. There is nobody who can fuck with you.
It's not true. No? You guys can fuck with me a lot. A lot.
Wow.
And I think you guys, with all your passion and commitment, you guys force us at some point to reevaluate the architecture, online architecture of the game, and I think it was absolutely needed. So we are super proud of that.
That was a very good transition, by the way.
Exactly, yeah.
I just wanted him to be comfortable swearing. Steph swears a lot, so I wanted to start by swearing just to make him comfortable, but what a pro. Yes.
Yeah, and to me, but it was crazy. I think the last couple of months, it's like changing the engine of your car while you're driving it.
Right.
And from what I know, I think we're the first game doing it in the industry. We never heard the story of other projects trying to change the architecture.
While also supporting the live game, putting out new stuff, and also improving the connectivity, stability of the existing game while also doing this. So it's crazy.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you don't necessarily care, right? The goal is to make an environment
they just
that
want their
is
servers.
yeah, exactly. So it would be super interesting to have you guys involved as much as possible, going for yes, game stability, but also latency. I think latency is a big subject that we want to look at to see if there's an impact. So if you see something, observe something, go on the forum, please give us all the information because it's an open test. So that will drive us and drive a lot of the development that we will do in the next couple of weeks.
You know what I think is interesting about this? You said, it's so much work to do this, but what's interesting to me is it really shows to the community, to our players, a huge commitment. Because, every other day I'll see kind of like the negative posts of like, well, they've got their money, they can cash in and take off. And like, we're not. We are reinvesting that money in dedicated servers, and that's like a big deal for us, for the dev team, but also for Ubisoft in general. I think that some credit is deserved for not taking the money and running, which is what we get accused of a lot, even though we're not doing.
But since day one, we're saying that Foreigner is there for the long run. And I think 10 months after the release, having a dev team delivering a new architectures, I think you cannot have a bigger proof or a bigger commitment to say, hey guys, we're not disappearing or we're not planning our next project or whatever. No, we are completely focusing all our effort. Even here, what we're like to say, it's when they ask you, hey, Steph, now Foreigner, how it's going? What do you do next? I'm saying, hey, I'm booked for the next 10 years, right?
10 years?
No, but
that's job security.
Yeah, but we're trying to create one. But no, the idea it's there. It's one block of the foundation that we had to fix. So right now we're working extremely hard on that, and but there's plenty of stuff that will come in the next few weeks and months.
Yes. JF?
Hi.
You just told me before we went live you prefer Jeff.
Well, it's easier with
I've never known
my
that.
name is
worked with him for over a year now.
Yeah, Jeff isn't good.
Jeff, sure. Jeff, welcome.
Thank you.
So what's your role?
My role? I'm the online production manager. So basically my role is to do plannings, risk assessments. I manage the team, the online team of the project. I was also managing the For Onion team.
Yes, the beloved Onion team.
Yes, a name that came from one of our friends, Luke's idea, actually. I'll get into that story later if we have time. But so
it was Luke's idea?
It was actually an idea thrown down by Luke without him thinking it will stick, but it did. So
it's because Jeff has terrible body odor.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for Steph and I right now to do this stream.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he's sleeping at work the last few months,
right.
So that's why.
That's what happens.
Steph locked us until we were done. We had no choice. We cannot even ask for help. We were just, that's it.
You smell very good. Just to be clear, he smells very
Considering
good.
that, you smell good.
Yeah.
I'll take it. It's all good.
So you are managing Team Onion.
Yes.
Through this crazy experience. Would you describe it as has it been a crazy experience?
Yes, it was. Steph resumed it really well. I mean, doing a change in architecture is hard as a move, but doing that while you operate a game live, because I mean, it's the same theme, and everything we do for the live need to be carried over for servers. Player will not accept any regressions. They want something better, not something good enough. So we have to do two things at the same time, which make it really hard. I think it's worth it. Players requested it. They want it. As Steph said as well, they don't care. They want a game that works fine for them.
Yes.
So it's worth the effort, but it was a crazy ride, yes.
Cool.
It's still actually a crazy ride.
Well, let's get into it. So the open test is running right now through Sunday night, if you're in the US.
8 p.m. East.
Yes. So let's start with the content.
Content of that test.
Yes.
So the content of that test is PvP mode for obvious reasons. PvP modes are what players want to work better, so we focused on that. We choose 3 different game modes. So the first one is Dominion for obvious reason as well. Dominion is the most intensive in terms of performance, data transfer, and all that stuff. So for that, we decided that it was a must-have for that test. For Tribute, the goal for that is Tribute in terms of performance and what it represents for us in terms of tech. It's pretty much like Skirmish and Elimination as well. Since it's a new game mode, it's a game mode the players likes a lot. We have received a lot of good feedback about it. So we decided to add it for diversity, and it's the best game out of the three, I think. For 1v1, it's more than just tech. We receive a lot of comments on forums and on Twitter and Reddit, and we talk about it a lot together as well. The fear of the community about switching that specific mode that works super well on the peer-to-peer infrastructures toward dedicated server infrastructures. So what's the best way to test the impact? Well, adding into a test before taking a final decision for us is definitely the best way to do it. Which is why we are not only interested into comments regarding stability of the game mode, because we know it's stable already, but on that specific one, we're super interested in the quality feedback. Do you perceive any latency? Do you perceive any inconsistency in the gameplay? That's something we want to know as well before we can take a final decision overall.
Cool. All right. And we had questions about custom match in the content.
Yes.
We do not have custom match in this particular test.
No, we do not. Custom match use different flows for matchmaking and everything regarding the fact that it's a custom match and you can select all your options. For that test, unfortunately, that was not ready.
Yep.
So we decided to keep moving. We're working on it. Internally, we will have it really soon. But for this test, it was just unfortunately not ready.
Okay. Cool. Now that we've covered the content, how about the objectives? Like Damien was on earlier, we showed with all the rewards and stuff, we really need people to play a lot. Frequently and over the course of the 4 days, keep coming back. And why do we need that feedback? Why do we need a lot of games?
Well, first of all, it's a stress test for the infrastructure. So we need a lot of players from all around the world playing at the same time. First of all, stress test the environment. Secondly, there's difference between connection over the world. So we need, I'll say it, even though I'm not Damien, but we need data. We need to know what's the experience for people in Europe, North America, Asia, Australia. All those players' input are super important. The reasoning why we need players to play a lot of matches as well, not only for rewards, but as well that your personal experience you will have will vary throughout the day. Depending on how many people in your neighborhood are connected, depending on the traffic to different data centers in the world, those conditions will fluctuate. We need to be aware of that, to be able to have everything we need to push and keep developing that platform. So when we launch it, it's the most stable possible. That's why we need a lot of people from a lot of different places for a lot of matches.
Cool. And so what type of feedback are you looking for the most?
We're looking for two types of different feedbacks. The first one is obviously the technical feedbacks. So do you experience issues with your game stability? Do you experience issues in the game overall in terms of gameplay? But also something to not neglect that even if we are more aimed toward tech is the quality as well. You mentioned it with Damien as well at the beginning. Latency perceived. Do you think you lag more or less? Or do you see inconsistency in the game? Do you have a hard time to parry, for example? First of all, it's going to help us with latency monitoring. We have those numbers as well, so we can see both of them. It will help all the other team involved as well in the game. The fight team will be interested into that. So does it work as intended? Do they need to give some different fixes for specific infrastructure? So we need those two types of feedback.
Cool. And Damien mentioned about the matchmaking. Do you want good matchmaking feedback, or is your focus elsewhere in this test?
The focus is elsewhere for that specific test. As Damien said as well, there's a lot of flows that were not implemented yet on the servers. So matchmaking, you will probably experience a couple issues. I highly suggest that you go on Reddit, take a look at the known issue list, because we have a list there that lists a couple issues that you will experience. But because of that, it's really game stability more than matchmaking that we're interested in for that specific test.
Yeah, and super important, guys. I know that when you will try, maybe the matchmaking will be longer than what you're used to. But it's just because, yes, there's people playing the actual game, other people are participating at the open test. So, of course, there's less players.
Right.
So it's a bit longer. So be patient because it's part of the process. But it's a first step, and after that, we'll see how it goes.
Cool. And that is all I had for that section. I had a follow-up, and then you jumped in, and I lost what my follow-up was. It's all good.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Sorry,
it's all yours was better anyway.
But it's super important because when people start this morning and people say, I don't know if it's linked to the servers. No, it's not.
Right.
No, it's not. It's not because it's long. It's not because of the servers. That's not in link. It's just linked by the nature of the test we're having. That's one of the of the side effect.
So it's really kind of the in-game experience that we want to know about. When you're in a match, when you're fighting, when you're winning, hopefully, that's what we kind of want to hear the most about. Yeah.
Yeah, and
crashes as well.
Exactly.
Oh, I remembered what I wanted to give a shout out to, which I should have done earlier. He mentioned Reddit, so we have a specific subreddit set up. It's a r/ForHonorPTS because we use that for our public tests as well. Yep. So go to ForHonorPTS on Reddit for any feedback you want to leave. Or to read the known issues, to read the FAQ that we've written up, to give you all the information you need about the test. So it's For Honor PTS. And shout out to our Reddit mods for maintaining that in addition to our main subreddit.
Great. I want to thank you guys because you have no idea how motivated it is to have a community like you helping us, with all the feedbacks and all the passion. Right? We can say we have a passionate community.
Definitely.
So I think it's something that the team really put a lot of, pressure, but also motivate us a lot to push the boundaries and deliver things like we're doing right now with the servers.
And before we go, any next steps you want to talk about?
Well, the next step for us will be gathering every single information we gather during that test. It will solidify, hopefully, what we think are the next step. If it's not, it's going to modify them.
Right.
As I said, the goal is to ship the most stable version that will provide an improvement, not a stalemate or it is as before. So they will shape up what's next to come.
So this test really determines what we do next for the immediate future.
It will have a huge impact on it, yes.
Cool. Well, we'll have Jeff back in the Q&A section if you have any specific questions about the open test, about the servers, and we'll answer what we can. That'll be a little later on in the show. So get those questions ready. We'll grab them out of the chat right now and bank them for later. So thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, guys. Grab your controllers. Join us on the battlefield. We're going there. Let's fight.
Don't kill me. All right, thanks. But now we're going to be back with Roman and Damien.
Is Roman here? We don't know. We don't know. Oh!
Hey guys.
He's here.
A lot going on this week. Busy week.
I don't have a mic.
You don't have a mic? Get this man a mic.
He doesn't need one.
Come back here.
He's so strong.
Sorry. I guess there was a confusion as to what was next, but my run of show has patch notes in this section. Okay. So as we mentioned, there's a patch coming next week.
Yeah, it's a stability patch.
And Roman is at the mic now. Hello.
Better?
Better.
Perfect.
Great.
Better.
So we're going to put the full notes up on Reddit. Maybe during the stream, I think Fred or James could pop into the chat and link you to it if you want. But we have some highlights we wanted to go through.
Yeah, so it's the patch that always come after the patch of the season. So it's the first patch, and its role is always to do mostly bug fixes.
Yes.
So yeah.
So that's what this is.
So
it's
that's
a
what
lot
this
of bug
is.
fixes. Cool.
Roman,
So,
you do the fighting stuff?
So let's start with the shaman. So Predatory Hunger, Predatory Mercy, and Wildcat's Rage now have reduced ability to track opponents. So this means to fix the situation in which she tracks you around corners, etc.
which we've all seen the videos of.
Yeah.
So that hopefully should be fixed. That should be a big improvement of fighting against a shaman. We'll see.
Cool.
Also, again, same move, Predator's Hunger, Predator's Mercy, and Wildcat's Rage. Cancel to combat idle has been increased to 24 stamina. It used to be 10. And also, they now have 100 millisecond shorter window to cancel the strike.
Ooh.
So the goal is really, it's to make her commit more to these moves. When you try to do those moves, the commitment is higher. And another thing also that we changed on the Predator's Hunger and Predator's Mercy, its attack strike range has been slightly reduced. So that reduces how far she can hit with those moves against a backward moving opponent, etc., to make her slightly less good at tracking.
So if you're dodging backwards, that could be a good defense.
Exactly. Okay. Then there's a lot of minor bug fix in the shaman, mainly animation stuff, glitch, and etc. On the Aramusha, we fix missing feint animation on rushing wind alternative. But also, we fixed the issue that allowed opponents to parry the Aramusha heavy during a guard break. So now you should have your AV.
Yes, we had a lot of feedback on that one.
With the armature. So that's good. We fixed a really important bug linked to the fits that were creating the stun effect. So Fiat Lux, Kai, Stun Trap. When you were hit by those fits previously and you were stunned, you could not dodge. So that's removed. No,
So now you can.
no, basically Fiat Lux is not a setup for guarantee catapults anymore, those kind of things. Warlord.
Yes.
So
I got a clarification on this. Sorry, on the
Yeah,
copy
got
I
it.
gave him, I have a bunch
no, but it's good.
So-
I did my homework.
Oh, you did? Okay. We both did our homework.
So there has been a fix on the crashing charge for the campaign. That move was bugged in campaign. It's working well, but also crashing charge got some tuning. So basically, several modifications to the collision detection of that move has been done in order to improve the targeting and the dodge timing of the opponents. And also the stamina cost has been increased to 40 when you miss crashing charge. So basically, when we made fixes on all the out of locks system and mechanic, forcing you targets when you're out of lock and this kind of thing, indirectly it had an effect on crashing charge and how good it was to tracking, etc. That should have been fixed, and there's also a small tweaking on top of that. And that's pretty. No, Centurion. So there's a fix that has been bugged. The bug that has been fixed. The stamina cost of punch after heavy finisher is now correctly 12. It used to be 16 when performed after Lion's Fangs and Lion's Bite.
People are going to run with that. They're going to call it a bug after a fix now.
Exactly.
Thanks, Roman.
And that's it.
Cool.
For tribute, there was an issue, you know, when you can revive an ally and you have the offering next to it, you couldn't pick up a hold to take the offering. You had to revive your friend before, so it was pretty hard to choose because both interaction are with the same button. So it's something we improved and we fixed. So now, depending on where you're looking at, you will select which thing you're interacting on.
Yeah, there's a bunch of tribute bug fixes. That's kind of the big one. And I know that
this
people
one
are
is
probably,
the biggest one for me, at least. I think it's the.
People are probably wondering about the friendly fire. That's not in this patch, but I was told in the next patch we do, we're removing it completely or just altering friendly fire and tribute.
So there won't be any drop when you get hit by
Okay.
anymore.
Cool.
So we can't have players that are griefing other players anymore or things like that.
So that's in the next patch, not this one.
Online, so GF's team is doing something else than the servers. So we had an issue that caused player when we had a host migration that sometimes they were falling back in a session only against PvAI, only alone with bots. It's something that happened to me as well, so it's something we fixed. So this shouldn't appear anymore.
It sounded like you said we have an issue with cosplayers.
Yeah, it's something like that. Maybe I can randomly drop words. And thanks to my accent, it's already pretty hard to understand me. And then they have to decode it.
Perfect.
What do you think?
Yeah, we've got a lot of For Honor cosplayers, so sorry about that bug.
Hat fixed an issue that would cause the player to be unable to get back into matchmaking after the group leader quits a match with the group following. So I just read it, but I didn't understand it at all.
So if you're a cosplayer and your team leader leaves the match,
Player, you can wear a hat and you lose your group. Yeah, so it was a group issue basically.
Yes.
You can go and read the patch note by yourself. So customization bug fix. We've added a third paint pattern to all the Raider outfits.
That's cool.
He's now on par with all the other heroes. Poor Raider.
Congratulations, Raiders.
Okay, we've added as well how-to video for tribute, because we didn't have time to make it when we launched the game mode. So now you have a video in the how to play section that tells you more about the game mode if you're afraid to go there.
So if
right
you're grouped
away.
with random people, maybe they'll have a better chance of following the rules and trying to play
Maybe.
the objectives.
Maybe.
Great.
If people want to watch videos. And on Xbox One, we fixed an issue that caused the client, so the game, to remain stuck on a blank world map after accepting an invite from host on the season round reward screen. So it's a very specific
Very
bug.
specific.
But it's a bug flow, so it's something that is always good when we fix it.
Great. And as I mentioned, there's a lot more
Yeah.
for you to read through. They should be up on Reddit now. If they aren't, they will be soon. But thanks, guys.
So I have another thing, because I was reading Reddit before coming in.
I never recommend
I
doing that.
forgot the name of the guy that made the post, but I will still answer him, because apparently he asked the question again and again in the chat during the Warriors Den stream about modifications to parry around the improvement on the fights. So yes, it was supposed to come this season. It has been postponed, but it's coming next season. So it's still in line to ship with either with next season or during next season. So we will make change to the reward of the parry. That's still coming. It's still in test, because by doing that, it requires also modification to balancing for some character around how good they are at punishing and this kind of thing. So we're still working on that, but it's still coming, and it's coming for next season.
Cool.
Yes.
And it's not the only feature that was supposed to ship this season that has been pushed to next season. So more things coming next season.
Okay. Great. So thanks, guys. I think you might be back for later. Maybe. I don't know
For
your
the Q&A,
schedule.
yes.
I don't know.
And
Okay.
community corner.
Great.
Are the video cool? Because if you're not, I'm not coming back.
So I was sick. So these videos came straight from Max. So if there's anything offensive or upsetting, it's Max's fault.
It's Max's state. Okay, why not?
But yeah, so stick around for that. And we're going to be right back with Bio to talk about the faction war. What do you got? Oh, hey,
What do I got?
what do you got?
I got numbers.
You were sick
as
too,
usual.
right?
I got injured, not
Oof.
sick.
Oof.
There's a snowstorm in Montreal.
It's true. It's very cold.
Yep.
My mustache froze today. Just FYI.
So sad. No. Oh, shoot. I don't want to break
Max-
the jade shield.
Max is very
Sorry.
OCD about the angle of
I'm
this.
sorry,
He might
I-
jump out here during the show.
I fucked everything up.
Well, hey, we completed our second campaign of the season.
We did.
What happened?
Congrats to the Vikings.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh.
2 for the Vikings. So
Damn.
yeah, and they almost lost it, because from battle 9 to 19, it was really the samurai that were dominating. They deployed much more troops than last campaign. I'm still struggling with the new terms because
I know.
I'm used to
gotta
using the other
integrate
ones
them.
so much. So they deployed like 3% more than before manually. They did a good job, but towards the end of the campaign, the Vikings just came back like huge on battle 29 and 30.
Well done.
So they won just
Well
by
done.
the skin of their teeth.
Now you know the conspiracy theorists are already expecting a Viking victory.
Yeah.
They're already expecting, like it's pre-written that they're going to take this whole...
Well, what I see is that there's so many theories that anything that happened, they will have
That's
like
true.
an answer
You
for
can't.
it.
That's exactly. So I had a cab driver once who was a flat earther, and he
Oh.
had an answer for everything.
Yeah, once it's done, you have an answer for it. So in
Yes.
hindsight, everybody's just.
I wonder what the crossover between flat earthers and faction war conspiracy theorists is. 'cause I
Well,
bet-
the map of the faction war is pretty flat.
that's true.
So I see a combination here of things that could work for both, and maybe Illuminati also. Well, I'm part of it. I'm
Sure.
part of the Illuminati,
Sure.
so that's why we rigged the faction
This
war.
explains a lot.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
We like to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, why not?
Like controlling the world through complicated schemes. This is my jam, really. I really like to do that. It's just like, this is why I'm a game designer. But stopping with that,
I was
sorry.
going to say, every joke has a little bit of truth in it.
Well,
So be careful.
pick which one is true. It's the secret. So again, yes, people will say that it's rigged,
Yeah.
whatever.
Sure.
But we see that the Vikings deploy again more manually and with the war banner, 4% more than all the factions. It's a lot. It's thousands and thousands of troops, so it makes a big difference. So I looked at all the numbers, and I wanted to say that the last battles, the Vikings just deployed more than all of the other factions with 36%. So they earned that victory. They played hard, and this is with the ponderation of the factions, basically with the amount of players in factions, changing the amount that you can deploy. So I wanted to look at it and give a little recommendations.
Sure.
Because now people can see the values, so they can make better decisions with the refactor of the Faction Wars UI that we've done. So do not forget that the troops you have on the territory will stay there after the carryover.
Right.
So that means that if you lost territories and they're far behind the front, those troops in reserve will stay there. So defending toward the end of the campaign is a very good thing to do because they will still be there if you lose a territory, so it will give more friction. So really think about where you are in the campaign and if you decide to be aggressive or defensive, if the knights and the samurai will have defended the last 3 battles more than they did because they actually were offensive about 60% of their troops. If they would have defended, I ran simulations and the samurai would have won.
Oof.
So this is it. And I also saw some people on Reddit having a good strategy for next campaign, being a samurai and knights shoot a knight against the Viking. Don't, because I'll be happy if the Viking wins, because again, it's the only way that I can have the ornament on my account. So please don't do this.
That's true, because last campaign that was sort of where they failed is because the samurais and Vikings were fighting each other. The samurais and knights were fighting each other too much, so the Vikings just sort of took advantage.
Yeah, we have the data on all of that, where the factions deploy troops against whom, and really that combat between the two of them is a big deal, and I blame the volcano for that. By the way, volcano watch. Right now, the volcano is knights. And there was 350 war assets, troops when I last checked, just before.
350,000.
Oh,
I was gonna say, hey, that's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
350,000 is a little bit more.
350K is not a lot
That's
either. It's actually doable in a few hours for the community, easily, hands down. You generate 600 about in a match, so you can really make a difference when you see numbers in those low Ks like that. Just you and a bunch of friends can actually turn around a territory quite easily. But all that being said, I hope that I will see almost no troops being deployed in a less battle. Like, I hope I will see that, because that means people are playing the test server, the test for the server, and please be there. I don't want to see people deploying troops, please. I'm just talking about my own feature. Please don't. Just don't play the faction war. Go
just for a few days.
Just a few days, and come back strong afterward. But that's what I'm hoping to see, like very low activity on
and maybe they'll
war.
find after a few days they really miss it, so they come back and really focus next week.
I will be missing them.
Cool. Well, did you have anything else for us?
No, that's it for us.
All right. So thank you. As always, we'll be back in 2 more weeks with you for our next campaign. And now we're going to go to the community corner. I don't know who's going to join us on the couch. Do you want to stay?
No, want to eat.
Yeah, that's fine. It is lunchtime. All right. So we'll be back with community corner. Whoever wants to come up is welcome to. Thank you very much. I lied. We're not going to be back in 2 weeks. We're going to be on Christmas vacation in 2 weeks. So I lied.
Are we?
I lied to my beautiful viewers.
But are we here next week?
Next week we're here. 2 weeks, not so much.
Next week will be amazing.
Hey, I'm not saying nothing, but it will be amazing.
Anyway.
So thank you for joining me, so I'm not all alone up here.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm going to do what pisses our cameraman off and just lean back because I'm tired of hunching forward.
I'm zoomed in.
Okay, let's get into it. Community corner time. And as I mentioned, I haven't seen these myself, except for the last one. So if there's anything offensive, it's Max's fault. So let's do it.
Let's hope.
They thought by Storm Shadow 7783.
You captured Zone C. You lost Zone C.
Pretty good
bad.
Musha.
Not bad.
All right, Bird Robot, good name, has a GIF. Maybe the most metal kill I've ever gotten. This one I did see and is amazing. Let's check it out. We've seen one like, oh, we're frozen. Oh boy. Now you've done it, Max. We've seen one like that before where it was, I think, a Lawbringer coming out of the flames and doing his
and
amazing
killing on the-
execution. Let's see if we can do it. I believe in you, Maxime.
So Maxime is watching it.
He's watching it on his personal
It's like
computer, but here we
he's
go.
keeping it for him.
There. Oh!
Oh!
Hey, it's back. Yes. Yes. And then the head crush while flaming.
Even with the tribute effects, it's even better. I agree with the title of that.
That is very metal. I kind of feel bad for that guy.
And he's killing a Lawbringer.
Yep.
I think it's there's
Yes.
a metaphor here.
There's a metaphor. All right, we've got another GIF from Bangway. So Aramusha ignores the bear trap with his sprint attack. Let's see what happens here. Trying not to cough into my mic.
Ooh, nice.
Max, can you mute my mic so I can cough?
One.
Man,
It's impressive. Is that a bot?
it's a bot.
Yeah, bots are super smart. I'm impressed.
I'm also impressed by that bot. Okay,
when you show videos of your game of bots playing,
we should call this the bot corner. Diabaso. This is a video. Stun trap cumulative damage. Whenever.
Ah, Xamã tá indo aí.
Nossa
Meu,
senhora!
matou?
Eu vi matando na hora. Caralho! Mano, eu vi, foi muito louco.
Caralho, velho. Ah, Xamã tá indo aí.
Nossa
Meu,
senhora!
matou?
Eu vi matando na hora. Caralho!
I love that one.
So good. All right, Oscar Bentley on Reddit. When a grenade bringer's zone is threatened.
You captured Zone break.
That's actually a good way to test the servers, right?
Yeah. So
You
we're,
want people to throw as many bombs at
I
once as
think we're
possible?
switching to a bomb game.
Bomberman honor.
That
Okay,
would be so cool.
right?
Yeah.
Tycam. Valk have enough love for every ganker's round. English? I don't know.
Incontinent. Vous avez capturé la zone A. Vous avez capturé la zone C.
Quick cat. I like it. That was amazing. I don't know why they fell for that, to all three of them kind of run on the little bridge, but they did.
They felt overconfident.
We'll get another GIF from the Acid Troll. Which is not someone I want to deal with on Reddit, but the Acid Troll. Perfection is the name of it. Let's see.
What?
I missed the
Ah, he's doing the
the N and the head of the centurion on the ground. There.
Ah.
Okay. All right.
He's tasting the blade.
He's tasting the blade. I've been told by our stage manager. Thank you. Okay, Fupa King on Reddit. The most satisfying combo I've done in a while.
Victory.
I think it's the comeback of the Valk.
Yeah, Valk OP.
Valk.
Okay, now this one I did watch, and this is great. It also shows, I think, that we can poke fun at ourselves for showing it, but this is the 12 Days of For Honor. Have you seen this?
No.
It's
I've seen
in
it.
theme with the times.
Yeah. And it's looping in a way.
Yeah, it's based on a popular Christmas song, which I don't know if they have in France, the 12 Days of Christmas. No?
Maybe we do.
On
I don't know.
first day of Christmas. No.
I don't think we do.
D-Skull Gaming, good job with this video. Let's check it out. It's a long one, but it's worth it. It's very good. Funny.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, 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 bells.
It's
So yeah, we determined that that song is not a thing in France.
No, it's not.
And some of the Quebecers in the room knew it, and some didn't. So hey, sorry for the geo-localized joke.
And so it's a karaoke version.
That was a karaoke. I do agree it would have been better had D-Skull Gaming been singing it.
We had Max singing on our side.
Max was singing.
You missed that. It was pretty cool. Or not.
He's got a Robert Goulet thing going. That Max. Goulet. But thanks for that. If you have any more Christmas-themed or you want to make more holiday-themed videos, send them my way. Because, like I said, next week's our last show before we go on holiday break. Yes. So I'd love to show more next week.
For a few 2-3 months.
Yeah, for months and months. So send them my way.
Hey, should I lay down like Roman since I'm with you?
Yeah, you can.
Yes.
I'm going to do that.
So we have some questions that people asked while we were doing other things.
Yes.
You wrote them down like a good PM that you are.
I did nothing.
It was all Maddie?
Yes, Maddie did that.
Congrats, Maddie.
I will not.
Everyone say thank you, Maddie, in the chat. She hates being acknowledged in the chat. But we have a few questions here about the open test or the dedicated server. So
we'll split them, okay?
I
take some, you take others.
Okay.
Want me to ask? I'll ask, you answer. Okay. We don't have the people's names, so Maddie did kind of fuck up, but so F you, Maddie, I guess. So sorry, I can't acknowledge whoever asked these, but they're great questions. Why is there still a NAT thing if this is a dedicated server?
Reasoning is simple. As other thing we didn't add into that build, we didn't remove the NAT concept. Of course, the NAT is not as important when you're in servers. Strict NAT can play with anyone, or strict NAT included. But
so it's just an artifact.
It's basically what the live game has that we bring back. We just did not remove it right now.
It's not having any bearing on people.
No.
Okay.
People can play as normal first servers, so NAT is not taken into account, but it's still in the game because it's still in the game right now.
That's a great question, Anonymous. Yep. Okay. The XP, we answered this one, but let's answer it again. The XP and steel do not carry over, correct? You just get that massive loot after.
Yes, exactly. Everything you do in the open test don't carry over to the main game. But we look at the amount of daily orders you've completed to grant you those massive loot.
Yes.
I like that.
That's rewards, right?
Yeah, rewards.
Cool. Can we play with the same account on PS4 and PC for the open beta?
Well, the game is free. You can play on whatever console you want. If you have an account on, you need a specific account per platform.
Right.
So it's not like a carryover or cross-platform thing.
Yeah.
But if you have an account on PC, on PS4, or even if you don't have one, you can get the build and play on it. Right. It's kind of a free weekend at the same time.
Yeah, but I think to answer the hidden question, is if you play on a separate account, of a new account or a separate platform, you won't have the progression of the other account.
Right.
That is true.
Cool. Who can I matchmake with in terms of regions?
The
Great question.
Yeah, it's a really good question, actually. Of course, right now we're using a specific data center for that test that are localized at specific locations to maximize the player experience. It's still locked to a specific region, so North American players play with North Americans, Europe with Europes, and Asian players play with Asian players. We have planned for the future as well, depending on that test results. We will monitor latency, available data center for when we officially launch them eventually. But right now you can play with people from your continent.
But we don't prevent you from grouping with anybody that is anywhere in the world.
That is true.
And then playing against other people. So that's why maybe sometime you would have an Asian player playing against North American players, maybe because he's grouped with another North American player.
Yeah, that is definitely a possibility. If you group with cross-region players, what will happen is there will be a data center specifically that give the best latency overall for the game. So yes, you can face people from other regions if they are grouped with people from your region.
And is that sort of where you want to go eventually with it? That the players have that freedom?
That will have to be seen.
And this is what we have today.
This is what we have today.
How laggy it is.
Yeah, this is what we have today. There is restriction as well regarding the grouping systems, specifically for Xbox and PS4. We cannot stop people for grouping, and we don't want people to not play with their friends.
Yeah.
That's what the game is all about.
Yep.
We'll monitor what impact it has on latency and gameplay, and we'll take decision regarding that after that.
Cool. Does the open test have the same quit penalty as the live game?
It actually does not. The reasoning why it does not is pretty simple, is we did not integrate that feature in. It's not a free ticket for quit when you lose. That doesn't help us. What helps us is you finish your game. I know the game can be salty sometimes. I'm a player myself, and I get pretty emotional when I play, and specifically when I lose. But no, the current open test doesn't have a quit penalty system introduced in it.
It's because it's not implemented yet.
It's going to be there when we're going to be live.
It's not a design choice, it was just a matter of time.
That said, we were talking during that last video that the experience for you when someone that you're playing with quits is much nicer for you as the player.
Yeah, you don't have a pause anymore when somebody quits.
No more resync. One other thing that you will experience in the game, right now on the live game, when in 1v1 specifically an opponent quit, you automatically win the game. On the open test, you will finish the game versus a bot. To actually finish the game, go through the whole loop of rewards. This is intended. This is because we want to have the full flow and see if there's issue at any point in it.
Cool. And I think I just sorry.
Here we go.
I think thanks to the server now, when you join a game, at the end of a session you can map vote.
Yes, that is indeed true.
And that's really cool. It's something I wanted since a long time.
That is
and
cool.
we have it thanks to the servers.
Oh, thank you, servers.
Thank you.
Give a shout out to the servers in the chat, guys. Thank you, servers.
That has nothing to do with a team of servers. Some other people, like our project lead architect, took the ownership of that specific fix. It's going to be coming soon on the live as well, as soon as we can implement in the branches.
But can you confirm whether he is or is not a robot, though?
No.
He could be a server.
I think he's Jesus.
Well, we are close to Christmas. So, next question. People have been reporting issues of teams breaking while trying to queue into matches, then getting a bug stating matchmaking is not ready. Any potential fix during the PTS? That was a long sentence.
That was a hard one. Yes, this is true. It's a known issue, actually. Again, highly suggesting to go take a look at the known issue list.
Yeah.
This is a bad issue. I do agree with it. I'm sorry to have it in the PTS. No, we cannot bring a fix regarding that specific one during the actual one because it will need a full new build to fix. We are aware of it. The fix will be done internally for us, and when it's going to be live, it's not going to exist anymore. But for this specific test, it will stay there, unfortunately, for the full length of it.
And do you happen to know, is there a workaround for that if it happens to you? Like, do you...
The workaround, unfortunately, when you have the matchmaking not ready error, is to actually restart your game.
The game.
Yeah, same thing when, so for example, we had an issue where in a group, we failed to join the match, and then we couldn't join each other in the group anymore. So the only way you workaround was to reboot the game. So we have some problems like that in the open test. So if you face weird situations like that, not joining your friend or not joining matches or errors like that, we advise you to restart the game.
Okay.
And to report the issue,
yes.
Of course, so that we can track those and fix those. So yeah.
Data.
Cool. Data, exactly.
Data. Okay, will the 2 daily orders in the open test reset every 24 hours?
Yes, of course, that's why they are daily. But it was a good question.
I was going to say, what a smart ass.
And again, 5 matches or 15 matches. So you can either, if you don't have much time, come every day, play the PTS, do the 5 matches, so that you can have at least the 4,000 still a reward. Or if you have more time, try to complete the 15 matches. And so it means you would complete both orders every day and get the ultimate 8,000 10 days of champion status, 16 crates, I think. I don't know it by heart.
That's a lot of crates.
Reward.
There's no piss off to that.
No,
16 is
no
a lot of crates.
Yeah.
I want to see you name the guy that has the last question.
Yeah. He's talking
What?
I want you to read the name of the last guy that has the last question.
The trailer PRKSPVSR is asking us.
I think it's Trailer Park Supervisor.
Trailer Park Supervisor?
Yeah.
That's probably it, actually.
Yeah. So Trailer Park Supervisor. Also, will dailies be available on both test and main game?
Will they, Danny? Will they?
Will they? So we have the classical dailies on the main game. They are still there. We still have contract orders on the main game. So we haven't changed the main game at all. But we put more incentives, reward-wise, to go and play the open test.
So
we need to remind people that we'll grant the reward it's not direct, it's not automatic, it's an action we have to do manually.
Yes.
So it means that when the open test is ended, then we will gather the data, see who has done how many, and grant the rewards afterwards.
So sometime next week.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Stay tuned. We can announce when that happens.
The 20th?
December 20th.
Maddie knows.
Thank you, Maddie. Give a good shout out to Maddie in the chat.
Maddie knows.
Maddie in the chatty.
And also, could we have the link to the known issues in the chat?
Yes, Fred, can you drop in the known issues
link? So that people are
link?
aware what to do and what are the identified issues for the moment. It's done, apparently.
We're
done? Useless.
Oh,
We're
thank
useless.
you.
That easy.
Thank you, Alex. I am actually very psyched to get back to my desk and actually because I've been
eat
that too. I don't know what you're
and
implying
play.
about me, but I've been preparing the show all morning, so I haven't had a chance to see people's reactions yet. I want to see how they're enjoying or what issues they're running across in the servers because I don't know myself. So I'm really excited to get back and see the feedback. So I'll see you on For Honor PTS on Reddit. So it's r/For Honor PTS. That's where you should leave all your feedback and go to get all the known issues and go to get all the FAQ answers.
And not on the normal For Honor Reddit.
You can be there.
Please. You can be there
for meetings and stuff. But yeah, shout out again to our mods on the Reddit subreddits in the test one because they're very helpful. And shout out to Team Onion and the Onion Knight himself, JF here.
Shout out to the team more than myself.
And the whole team, because Team Onion had got a lot of help from everyone.
Absolutely.
In fact, to be honest.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
And I want to give a shout out to a few players. I was sick, and I unfortunately missed them, but I helped getting them here. We had some players come in and check out the revamped heroes.
The hero reworks and the parry changes.
Just this week? Oh, they did the parry changes too?
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, they tried different things.
So we do this every once in a while to get really valuable feedback in person and direct with some good players. So I want to give a shout out to Fatal Fate, Based Solaire, Bodrat, and Ravelord Servant. It's funny because literally last week, I think it was your fault.
Yeah.
Damien's like, oh, we need to bring players here. Can you do it in 3 days?
I need feedback.
Yes. So we
I don't have enough data.
We narrowed our code to like people in the Toronto, Montreal, Boston area. And luckily we have 4 of them that we're aware of.
Yeah,
so,
and they came on a really short notice.
Very
so
short notice.
Thanks to them.
Yeah. Big thanks. And thanks for their feedback. So that's awesome. And now we have a raffle. Raffle, giving away combat packs as we do. So join the raffle now, and Fred will hook you up if he's still alive, if he hasn't passed out from this very long stream. And yes, now let's go eat some lunch.
And see you next week. Big week next week.
Ooh, I don't know what that means.
Can't say more.
Big week, though.
Big week.
Big week this week. Bigger week next week?
Maybe.
Come back next
Hopefully.
week for sure. There's fun stuff in the pipe. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Thank you.